Welcome back to the channel and to the Week 3 edition of Trey's Pick 6. That's where I break down my favorite 6 plays on the slate. This week I actually found 7 that I like, so we're going to break down and analyze each of those picks. But before we do, we need to go over what we took last week and how that ended up going down. So in Week 2, we took a same-game parlay with the Rams and the Cardinals. Took the over in that game at 43.5, and then we combined that with the Rams on the money line. The Rams get smoked, so we do not cash on that one. But we did take Kyren Williams of the Rams an anytime touchdown. The only touchdown that the Rams got on the day, so we hit on that. And we took the Steelers on the money line, had a profit boost with FanDuel for that one that put it at plus 137, and we do cash. Then also took the Bengals plus the 6 points against the Chiefs. We cashed there. And then took Isaiah Pacheco of the Chiefs over 67.5 yards rushing, and we do hit on that one as well. But then we took Isaiah Pacheco an anytime touchdown. Got that at plus money too with another boost from FanDuel. But we do not cash on that. He did not break the plane in this game. But we do finish 4-2. We go up just under 2 units on the day. So a great day, honestly. And we look to repeat that here, man, in Week 3. Hopefully we do a little bit better, man. Hopefully we can sweep the board. So let's go ahead and dive into these picks. But before we do, guys, I did want to talk about this offer that FanDuel has for you currently if you are not a customer with FanDuel. So if you're a new customer and you sign up, you're going to get to bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. All you got to do is place a $5 wager, $200 in bonus bets back. So hell of a deal right there. And then you will also, and this is for all customers, if you are already with FanDuel, you can still go ahead and get in on this one. Bet $5, get a free 3-week trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So, like I said, new customers, bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets. All customers, go ahead and bet $5 and you're going to get 3 weeks of a free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So a great deal there. We'll have a link down in the description. We'll also have a link in the pinned comment. I'll stick it right there at the top for you, where you'll be able to click into that and take advantage of this offer here. So guys, let's not waste any more time. Go ahead and hit that like button down below, hit subscribe, and let's get right into it. We got the Steelers on the money line. That's going to be my first pick of the day. Man, taking 3 weeks now, 3 Steeler picks. Pain in my Bengals heart, but hey, I like money, right? So, we can do the same thing we did last week. FanDuel has that money line profit boost. It's a 100% profit boost. So you hit that on the Steelers money line, you're now looking at plus 139 odds. So that's where I caught it at. I've already locked that one in. So, the Chargers so far this year, they feasted on the ground, right? Back-to-back games of 130 plus yards rushing from J.K. Dobbins. But Pittsburgh has been stout against the run, man. They rank 4th in rushing yards allowed over the first 2 games so far. And then we also got to keep in mind that Justin Herbert is questionable with a high ankle sprain. He did practice Thursday. He practiced Friday, so it's safe to assume he's going to play in this one. Dude is tough as nails, I don't expect him to sit out. But I think it's also safe to assume that he will have limited mobility, right? With a high ankle sprain, I don't expect to see him scrambling around out there. And that could spell some trouble with this defensive front 7 of Pittsburgh, man. They can get to the quarterback. We're also going to see T.J. Watt lined up against a rookie right tackle in Joe Alt. So that's going to be an interesting matchup right there. And it's one that I envision Watt will be able to see some success with throughout the game. Just, being that veteran and being one of the best pass rushers in the game. So this is also going to be a Steeler team having their home opener in Week 3 here after starting the season 2-0 on the road. With wins in Atlanta and in Denver. So the Chargers, they're also 2-0, but, both of them being double-digit victories, but they were against the lowly Panthers and Raiders. So I like Pittsburgh here in another defensive slugfest, a field goal battle, which leads me into my next pick. So I'm also looking at Chris Boswell, the kicker from Pittsburgh. We can get him over 1.5 field goals made right now for minus 115 on BetMGM. He's cleared this mark in each game so far this year with 6 field goals in Week 1, accounting for all 18 of the Steeler points, and then 2 more field goals in Week 2, and then with his extra point he made up 7 of the Steelers' 13 points. So, Chris Boswell is really just he's carrying the scoring load for this team, and this is how they do it, man. They grind it out, they play defense, spectacular defense, run the ball, slow things down, keep the ball out of your hands. This has been the recipe for the Steelers for most of my life, and they do it pretty damn well. So like I said, man, I think we see another Steeler defense-defined game here. I think LA has some troubles on the offensive side of things, just in general, and in this game as well. That's just going to be fully exploited. And then their early season success, in my opinion, has been a bit overblown by the big name coach they have on the sidelines. Um, I need to see more from LA against some teams with some substance before I'm ready to get on the hype train, I guess, with the Chargers. So I like the Steelers in this one, and I like Chris Boswell over 1.5 field goals made. And next up, going to be looking at the Dolphins. Skylar Thompson, the quarterback. He's going to be starting in place of Tua, who is out with yet another concussion, which is just sad to say, man. Sad to say. But we're looking at Skylar Thompson under 198.5 yards passing. Um, Thompson has not had much success early on in his career so far, with just 8 games under his belt and just 2 previous starts. So he's only thrown 1 touchdown in this time, along with 3 picks, and it has a QB rating of just 63.5. I don't see this being the week that he is able to break through and find, much more success. We have Miami heading into Seattle, a stadium that's already tough as hell to play in to begin with, with that 12th man. It's one of the loudest stadiums in the NFL. I think they say it's the loudest, but I've been to Kansas City for an AFC Championship game, guys, and that was the loudest thing I've experienced in my life. So I think Arrowhead might have the nod there. I don't know. I haven't been to Seattle, so, maybe I'm just a fool here. But, man, Kansas City is loud. Fans are nuts. But anyways, like I said, though, they're going into the stadium hard as hell to play in, loud as hell, and then we're going up against a Seattle defense that has been exceptional against the pass to start the season off. They're giving up only 128 yards a game so far through the air. And they're getting a good bit of pressure on the opposing QB as well so far. Seattle ranks 15th in sacks, but they sit at 5th for QB hits, 4th for QB hurries. This defense is also tied for 9th for forced turnovers. So I think they can get to Skyler a bit. I think they're going to make things uncomfortable for him and force him into some mistakes. That's going to limit his opportunities to exceed this 198.5 number. Neither quarterback that Seattle has faced this year has hit even 150 yards passing. So I don't see Skyler being that one that breaks that mark and takes it all the way up to 100. We need 199 yards, and Seattle hasn't even given up 150 yet. So I don't think this is the week that it starts. I like Skylar Thompson under 198.5. Then next up, we're going to be looking at the Ravens against the Cowboys. The Ravens are a 1-point favorite, and I've got the Ravens in this one. You can catch that on DraftKings for -110. That's Baltimore at -1. Now, this is, in my opinion, probably going to be the best game on the slate Sunday. Both of these teams are coming in off of tough losses. The Ravens are sitting at 0-2, very surprising, and Dallas is sitting at 1-1. So I simply think Baltimore needs this one more. I trust this organization in this kind of spot more than the wildly inconsistent Cowboys. Man, do we really think a Lamar Jackson-led Baltimore team is going to fall to 0-3? Not me, man. My money is on their bounce back all day, all day. The Cowboys under Mike Zimmer, man, they play a ton of zone defense, a ton. Lamar Jackson, he's had a ton of success against the zone. Dallas has one of the better pass rushes in the league, but once again, Lamar kind of excels against the rush, man. He's a freak athlete. Dude can beat you through the air with his legs. There's not much that he can't do, man. The Ravens are sitting at 4th for passing yards currently. They're 7th for rushing. Dallas is just 16th against the pass, just 20th against the rush. Dallas is 3rd to last in points per game allowed so far this year, and they are dead last in red zone efficiency. The Ravens' offensive line, man, has struggled creating running lanes so far, but the Saints just destroyed Dallas on the ground, right, for 193 yards on 36 attempts. It's good for a 5.36 yards per carry average. Now, at this stage of his career, Derrick Henry, he's not quite that dynamic running back, not the same as like an Alvin Kamara of New Orleans. But those red zone struggles for Dallas is going to spell trouble if Baltimore finds themselves down by the goal line, man. Like, Henry almost definitely feels like a lock to push it in over that goal line in that kind of scenario. And we got to keep in mind, Dallas has been a great team at home, right? Over the last couple years even. They went undefeated in Dallas last year in the regular season. And the Ravens have struggled against the pass so far this year, which is where Dallas has seen some success so far in this season. But the Cowboys are weak in the run game so far, man. They're sitting at 25th in the league, while the Ravens have been the top team through 2 weeks defending against the rush. The Ravens are also 10-3 in their last 13 games as favorites, so give me Baltimore here to pick up their first win of the season. Guys, we are at the 10-minute mark in the video. Comment 10 down below and comment your favorite player in the NFL of all time that wore number 10, man. Me personally, probably be Deshaun Jackson. That dude had some speed on him, man. He was so fun to watch back in the day. So like I said, man, comment 10 down there for me. But let's get into the next pick. Looking at the Chiefs and the Falcons. I'm looking at the under in this one. It's sitting at 46.5, minus 110 on FanDuel. Chiefs have hit over this mark in each of their first two games this year. But losing Pacheco, man, that's going to hurt. And that's going to shift how this offense operates to some degree, man. And, we got rookie Carson Steele. He should get the start. It's going to be interesting to see how he performs in this role. He's had some up and down moments so far. For example, he fumbled the ball away in week 2 versus Cincinnati in the second quarter, right? But then he came up with huge third down conversions later on in the game that helped seal the deal. So, definitely has the talent, man. So, like I said, it'll be interesting to see how he handles taking on a bigger role. They do got some Samaje Perine back there in the backfield as well. But, end of the day, the Chiefs still have the best quarterback in the league under center. They have arguably the best coach as well. But they haven't looked the same this year so far. They've definitely, well, I want to say, they've shown signs of being mortal to an extent, right? Like, they seem a little more beatable so far this year. Big, tough wins over Baltimore and Cincinnati to start the year. Cincinnati outplayed them in week 2, and they still found a way to pull out the win because that's just what they do, man. They're a damn good team over there. The thing is, 2 impressive wins nonetheless, but now they're facing an Atlanta defense that features what could be considered the best safety tandem in the NFL. They've been excellent against the pass so far this year, ranking 7th in pass yards allowed and 9th in points given up per game. Teams are only averaging 4.6 yards a play on them. That's also good for 7th in the NFL. And then the offense on the Atlanta side, it started to click against Philly. They drove down the field with ease late in that one to pick up the 1-point come from behind win over the Eagles. But I'm not sure I'm ready to say they are like rolling and got it all figured out quite yet. I think they'll bring some momentum into this one, but we still need to see Cousins just play better, be more efficient in his decision making and execution in general. And the Falcons, they have also hit under this number in both games so far this season. And then the Chiefs, they've hit under in 6 of their last 8 games when they're playing against top 10 scoring defenses, that's where Atlanta sits right now. So give me the under in this one. And then lastly, we're looking at Joe Burrow. Looking at him over 266.5 yards. You can get that at plus money on Bet365. Also looking at his passing touchdowns over 1.5. Now we can get this one. It's a little more juiced at minus 140 also on Bet365. Now, look, my Bengals are off to yet another slow start, man, which seems to just be the norm here in Cincinnati under Zach Taylor. And Burrow as well, right? He's looked horrendous in week 1s. And not much better in week 2s either, with a 1-9 record through the first 2 weeks of each season to start off his career. I can't for the life of me figure out why he starts each season so slow, man. All the talk in Cincinnati and the media has always, the narrative was always, and it's just honestly an excuse that he's never had a full training camp. He's always battling or returning from injury to start the season each year. But this year that wasn't the case. So what's the excuse now, man? Whatever it is, and for whatever reason that it may be, he's shown year after year that he's going to start slow, and then the turn-up is real, right? He becomes an elite quarterback as the season goes on, ends up, in the top 3 discussion almost every year at the end when he's been healthy. So, baffling, but this is where we're at as a Bengal fan. Now we're entering into week 3. I have a little more hope that Burrow's going to look like Burrow. As silly as it is. But Washington, man, they have struggled against passing attacks so far. They're sitting at just 22 in passing yards allowed, 22nd. Baker Mayfield and even Daniel Jones of the Giants have found success against the secondary so far this year, each of them finishing with a triple-digit quarterback rating. Baker with a 146 rating, actually, looking at the numbers. And then, they both combined for 6 touchdowns and no picks over this Washington defense as well through the first 2 weeks of the season. Now, we can get Burrow right now at over 1.5 touchdowns for minus 140. The Commanders are dead last in passing touchdowns allowed on the year. And we can also get his yards, like I said, over 266.5 for plus money. And I like both of these quite a bit, man. Burrow has never endured a losing streak like this. like what he's on right now throughout his entire playing career, dating back to high school. In his last 4 starts, the Bengals have failed to get the victory. So a 4-game losing streak is the longest one he's been on in his life. And just listening to his press conferences, interviews that we've seen throughout the week so far, it's eating at him. No, he's not digging this whatsoever, right? So we're going to get an insanely motivated Joe coming out underneath those Monday night primetime lights in Paycor. I'm excited as hell that I'll be there to see it, man, because this dude's going to go off. I know it. I've seen it before, and I expect to see it again. T. Higgins is also expected to make his season debut, which is only going to help open things up for Chase, who has just seen double team after double team throughout these first 2 weeks. Burrow, man, he should just be able to spread the ball around against this poor Washington secondary. And like I said, with T back out there, it's going to open things up so much more, and he'll be able to find that mass array of weapons that Cincinnati has put around him. There's a ton of targets for him out there, man. Josevich, Brenton Irwin, Mike Gesicki, Chase, Higgins. Zach Moss can catch the ball out of the backfield. Chase Brown has shown that he can catch the ball out the backfield and break it. Like, there's a ton of targets out here against this weak Washington secondary. So I definitely think that Burrow has kind of a breakout game. This is that big game that kind of gets things rolling. And hopefully turns the season around, man, because these 0-2 starts are getting old, getting painful. We want to contend for championships, man. Might want to starting these seasons off a little bit better so we can actually contend for a 1 seed and get some home field advantage for a change. But is what it is. Like I said, I like these Burrow picks here, guys. I'd be very surprised if he does not come out here and have a great game. So that's going to do it here for another episode. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today. If you found it helpful, if you found it useful in any kind of way, please do not forget to smash that like button right below over there and hit subscribe if you have not already. That way you don't miss out on any of the content that we are dropping here daily. And guys, it's going to do it, man. Best of luck. Hope you guys have a great day tomorrow and Monday. Hopefully we make a little bit of money throughout these games. And I'll see you guys on the next video.